Want to get creeped out? Welcome to Just a Little Stitious,
where things go bump in the night and sometimes it's just your fridge. Or it's us tripping over the furniture.
or it's something terrifying lurking in the dark. Hello.
Hi.
Did you miss us?
I did.
Yeah, we missed you. Today is a special day because it is the beginning of our July Creepy Games and Rituals month. Okay?
I'm so excited.
So a lot of people who follow us because of creepy games and rituals.
Mm-hmm.
And we decided it's now summer break for most people. Well, not most people. Kids, teens,
teachers,
college students, university students, children. Please don't watch this or do any of these.
My daughter watches. I caught her again the other day. I caught her on the TV.
Okay, yeah, actually. Because CJ had him in the car yesterday and he was like, we found your YouTube channel. We were watching it. I was like, you were? And he was like, no, actually, we weren't.
Yeah, because he knows they're not supposed to. I hate YouTube so much, but we pop up on the For You a lot for them.
Mm-hmm.
So I walked into my bedroom a couple weeks ago and I can hear, want to get creeped out? And I was like, shut it off. She changed it
She
so
clearly,
quick.
she has a pretty high threshold, obviously, for getting creeped out, though, because she
does not care. Yeah.
I remember babysitting her, years ago now, and she was watching, something about a possessed baby, a video game, and I was like, this is creepy, Raylan. She's like, no, it's not. I'm like, okay.
I know. They like weird stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Also, I really want to say this, okay? For those of you who like the stories of people who try creepy games and rituals, you would also likely enjoy our other episodes, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Especially the hauntings, the extreme hauntings. You guys don't know what you're missing, okay?
Yeah.
Just give it a try.
Mm-hmm.
Stop being a little bit. No, I'm just kidding.
We see the stats.
Yeah, we
see who watches, how many views are for which episode.
Yeah, and the creepy games and rituals are always
the hits.
They're
Watch
giving.
our hauntings. S.K. Pierce Mansion.
Yeah.
Come on. Tony and Deborah Pickman. Come on.
The Union Screaming House. An extreme haunting in Pennsylvania.
The Real Hills Have Eyes.
The reincarnation episode, you guys.
Oh.
This episode is slept on, okay?
That is, yeah.
Jessica talked about people who have past life memories, and it was chilling.
Including my own child.
Yes. What are you doing? Watch the rest of our episodes.
Yeah. Watch our shit.
We're funny. We're interesting. We have good stories. Get your shit together. So the plan is that we are doing 2 explanation episodes where we are explaining all of these rituals. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to have 2 episodes following in the next Fridays that are stories of people who have tried these rituals. Then also in the future, we can have stories of people who tried these rituals, and we'll just refer people back to these explainer episodes if they need to hear how a ritual works.
Yes.
Okay. So the first thing I want to talk about with these creepy games and rituals is some common questions that I get. Number 1, why do we say that you shouldn't try these and then explain how to do them? Because we're fun and we're cool.
And because it's interesting.
Exactly.
It's so fascinating.
Right. We don't go try these, but we still want to know how to do them.
Exactly. Because that's the fun of it, is understanding how it works, what happens.
Yeah.
But that's not saying, go do it.
Right. And then you can also understand the stories of people who have tried them.
And what they went through and what they had to do.
Exactly.
How involved it can be.
Spot on. The second question I get is, why would people try these? And I have a few common reasons that I've noticed. Number 1 is people are like, this isn't going to work. They're skeptics and they're like, nothing's going to happen. Sometimes nothing does happen. And then they don't really have anything to write about. They'll post and say nothing happened. This is bullshit. Or someone will post and say, this is what happened to me. Or they'll send us a story and say, this is what happened to me. I tried this. Sometimes it goes how the ritual is supposed to go. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes they just end up having really weird paranormal experiences.
Because a really bad time.
Yeah, because they tried a ritual that invites something in.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're going to try the ritual, just assume something's going to come. You have to assume that something could come and it could not be fun.
The third reason is because people believe that it will work. And they're like, this is so cool and so fun. And sometimes I do say we play stupid games, win stupid prizes. But also sometimes people try the rituals and it works how it was intended and good for them.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So those are, I would say, the main reasons why people try them. No judgment.
No, that's what gives us content.
Right. But
we are here for it.
Right. But we're telling you, play at your own risk.
Yeah.
Don't hold us responsible And if you're a child, you're not supposed to be watching this.
Yeah, go away.
Don't listen to this. Don't watch this. You're a child. This isn't for you.
Come back when you're 18.
Yeah. Another thing I do want to say, because we did get votes to talk about the 11-mile drive ritual. Yeah. And the reason we decided that we're not going to is because, number one, it's a really, really long one.
Yeah.
And number two, there really aren't that many stories of people that have tried it. Mm-hmm. Maybe we could do like an episode one day of those types of rituals.
Talk about it. Yeah. Because it is quite interesting.
It is a really cool
There's not
one.
a lot to, you can tell the ritual, and then there's really not a whole lot else you can do.
Yeah. We are setting up these explanations so that you will have them for stories that we're telling in the future. So in this episode, we're going to talk about the Three Kings ritual, the Midnight Man, the elevator game, the Shoebox Telephone Game. I do just want to say that most of these can be found on the Ghost in My Machine, Scary for Kids, and Reddit. I highly suggest, if you like creepy games and rituals, checking out the Ghost in My Machine. Lucia Peters is the writer of that website, and there is literally so many creepy games and rituals. So many. Okay? We are going to start off with a classic, a fan favorite, the Three Kings ritual.
That's what everyone comes around for. It's the Three Kings.
So this is a ritual that first appeared online in 2012 on the No Sleep forum, which is on Reddit. It inspired an entire subreddit of people who shared their own experiences trying these different games and rituals. What is the point? Why do the Three Kings ritual? The Three Kings ritual is a way to see the shadow side, is what is said. What is the shadow side? The shadow side is the other side.
Yeah.
There's things you brush up against all the time, but maybe you don't know it. Or maybe you see something out of the corner of your eye, and that's the shadow side, dude.
Yeah.
But really, the real reason for the ritual is supposed to be because of having some self-growth, gaining some insight, confronting parts of yourself that you try to hide or ignore. Some people have tried the ritual and experienced it as intended. Others have wound up experiencing it not as intended. They've wound up experiencing paranormal activity during it, before it, after it. Some people might experience hallucinations or enter another realm entirely. I've heard that one before. Many people have been really terrified by what they experienced. Now we'll get into the meat and bones, the bones and meat of
the innards.
Ooh, love that, of the ritual. You need to have two people for this ritual. One person is the main participant and the other is the spotter. You also need an empty room. A basement is preferred due to the limited light. You need drapes or window coverings, blankets, whatever. You need 3 chairs, 2 large mirrors, a bucket of water, a cup or a mug, an electric fan, a candle, a lighter or matches, an alarm clock, which is optional because you could also just use a cell phone for your alarm. You do need a cell phone and a cell charger for each participant, and a personal token or talisman, also known as a power object. A lot of these rituals have power objects. That is something that is meaningful to you. Maybe you've had it since childhood. Maybe it's a picture of someone you care about. Maybe it's a necklace. Maybe it's a teddy bear. Maybe it's a blanket. I don't fucking know. It's important to you.
Whatever is special.
Yeah. Setting up the ritual. The house should be empty other than you and your spotter.
The room. Oh,
the house.
Mean of people.
Yeah, the house. No people, no pets. They say no pets too because they could interrupt. Begin setting up the room at 11 p.m. So make sure you're blocking out any light from windows. You place 3 chairs inside the room. And the middle chair, which is considered the throne, needs to be placed in the middle of the room facing north. The chairs to the left and right should be positioned 2.5 to 3 feet away from the middle chair. Place a mirror on each of the side chairs, facing kind of inward toward each other. When the main participant is sitting in the middle chair and looking straight ahead, they should be able to see both mirrors in their peripheral vision only. You also place a bucket of water and a mug in front of the middle chair, just out of reach. Place a fan behind the middle chair set to low or medium speed and kept in a stationary position. The fan must be placed on a surface of some kind so that it is aimed, or if it's a standing fan, that's fine, just so that it's the same height as the participant's midsection or head. Its placement is essential, okay, because the purpose of it is to extinguish the candle if the main participant's body is moving around during the ritual for some reason. After setting up, both participants must leave the room and go to bed. They do have to leave the door to the room open. Okay? Essential. Leave the door to the room open. If it doesn't have a door, don't do it in that room. You can't do it in that room.
Nope.
Now, the candle, lighter, and alarm clock or cell phone need to be near where the participants are sleeping. Make sure the phones are plugged in, and both alarms, if you're not sleeping in the same room, should be set for 3:30 in the morning. Go to sleep. The main participant needs to go to sleep specifically holding their personal talisman or power object. Now, performing the ritual. They will wake up at 3:30 in the morning when their alarm clock goes off, and the spotter should now set an alarm on their phone for 4:34 in the morning. Keep all of the lights off in the house throughout the entire ritual. The spotter can hang out anywhere in the house except for in the room where the ritual is taking place. The main participant lights their candle, takes their personal object or personal token, and their cell phone into the ritual room and shuts the door behind them. They need to be seated in their throne by 3:33 in the morning, and they sit in that chair for 1 hour and 1 minute and are not allowed to look anywhere but straight ahead. They are forbidden from looking at the mirrors, no matter what they see, no matter what they hear, no matter what they feel. They're not supposed to look directly at the mirrors. At 4:34 in the morning, the spotter should open the door to that room and call out the main participant's name. If they don't respond, that person should then call the main participant's cell phone. And if that doesn't work, they need to walk up to the main participant and use water to splash them in the face. Here are some warnings about the ritual. No one should proceed with the ritual if the alarms of either person didn't go off at exactly 3:30 a.m. I've had people be like, why would an alarm go off at 3:30 in the morning if it's set for 3? It happens.
Paranormal,
apparently.
Dude.
Yeah. It's paranormal. If either a cell phone didn't charge, if the door to the ritual room is now closed when it was specifically left open, if the fan has been turned off or unplugged. Also, the reason for the spotter, sticking their head in the room, calling the name, and then calling the cell phone, and then splashing the person, this is all because there seems to be a tendency with this ritual that the main participant almost goes into like a trance-like state or something, where they're not hearing the person calling their name. And it's happened many times in stories we've heard that the spotter needs to basically splash water on the main participant's face to get them out of this stupor.
Yeah.
People experience some pretty wild things while they are sitting in their throne. It's a pretty scary ritual. A lot of people have some really scary experiences during and after.
Yeah, we had a lot of stories for that one.
Yeah. So that is our explanation for the Three Kings ritual. Now we're going to move on to the Midnight Game or the Midnight Man.
The Midnight Man game. The Midnight Game. / the Midnight Man.
Ooh.
The Midnight Game is often claimed to have been an ancient pagan ritual used to punish people who disobeyed the gods. I said that really confidently, but there's actually no evidence of this. So it's questionable.
It's very questionable, and it's likely made up. No one was playing this in ancient times, but whatever.
The oldest known version of this goes back to August 2010.
Ancient. Yeah.
Anyway, this ritual sounds appealing because it can be done at home with like almost nothing.
Yeah, it's easy peasy.
Almost. It can be played with multiple people. If you are playing in a group, everybody has to complete the invitation themselves. According to the legend, the invitation brings an entity called the Midnight Man into your home. The goal is to avoid running into the Midnight Man in the dark, which is where you will be, in the dark. Moving around the house is supposed to make it harder for him to find you. If you stop moving, he will catch you. Stories differ about what happens when you're caught. Some claim you'll experience hallucinations of your worst fear until the game ends. Other versions claim the Midnight Man will harvest your organs one by one. Either way, the legend says not to get caught.
Harvesting your organs is so hardcore, though.
It's so intense. don't
And
know.
I love it.
I was just going to say, I don't know why. This just sounds so appealing.
Well, I mean, like, I don't want my organs harvested.
It's
but
just a good,
it's a good story
Yeah.
right there. Yeah.
So here's all the shit that you need. It can be performed with friends or alone.
Or enemies.
Or your enemies. Oh my God. Enemies or friends. A candle, a lighter, a piece of paper, something to write with, a pin or something pointy or sharp, a wooden door, and salt. Setting up the ritual / inviting the Midnight Man inside your home. Inviting him into your safe space.
Dun, dun, dun.
Turning your safe space
Into an unsafe
into
space.
an unsafe space. Start before midnight. Write your full name, first, middle, and last, on a piece of paper. Prick your finger with a pin or your sharp object. Place your blood on said paper. Let it soak in. Turn off all the lights in your house. Place the paper in front of a closed wooden door. Put a lit candle on top of the paper. If you're using a taper candle, make sure it is secured in a holder. That is for fire safety purposes.
Yeah, we don't want any burnt down houses.
No
Okay.
fires. Knock on the door 22 times, and the 22nd knock must land at exactly what time? You guessed it.
Midnight.
Open the door, blow out your candle, close the door, and then relight your candle. Performing the ritual. Hold onto your candle. Keep your salt, your lighter, or matches nearby, on you, like on your person. Start moving around your home. If your candle goes out, you have 10 seconds to light it up. If you relight it in time, keep moving through the house. Do not stop until 3:33 a.m. If you cannot relight your candle within 10 seconds, immediately draw a circle of salt around your person. Stay inside that circle until 3:33 a.m. At 3:33 a.m., you can stop moving or you can step out of your salt circle. You can turn the lights back on because the game is over now. Rules during the ritual. Do not turn on any lights during the game. Do not use a flashlight. Do not fall asleep. Do not use a lighter as a substitute for your candle. Do not use anyone else's blood. Use your own. Don't be greedy. Do not try to leave your home. And do not try to provoke or challenge the Midnight Man.
Yeah, that would be dumb.
Signs that the Midnight Man is near. A sudden drop in temperature. Hearing soft whispers with no obvious source. Seeing a humanoid figure in the darkness. Your candle unexpectedly going out, which I always imagine as the Midnight Man going right close.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how I always picture it.
1,000,000%.
What you should do if any of this does happen. If you experience any of the first 3 signs, leave the area immediately. If your candle goes out, light it within 10 seconds. According to the legend, relighting the candle keeps the Midnight Man away temporarily. If you cannot relight the candle in time, get inside some salt. The salt circle is said to offer the same protection. Warnings: do not fail to relight or get into a salt circle. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, don't
Do it
fail to
right.
do that or your organs are going to be harvested.
Yeah. According to the story, there's no way to stop the game once it has begun. The Midnight Man is said to leave at 3:33 a.m. Once 3:33 a.m. arrives, it's considered safe to end the game. But the legend's final warning is not to assume that the Midnight Man has gone away forever once it is done.
Yeah.
He'll be back.
You invited him
Maybe.
in. Maybe it's like a vampire. Once you invite him in once, maybe they have access now, you know?
Yep.
Perhaps. So
Don't do it.
don't do it. Okay. We're going to move on to the next one. Next, I'm going to talk about the elevator game. People often associate the elevator game with the death of Elisa Lam, which was a 21-year-old Canadian tourist who passed away in the Cecil Hotel and was eventually found in a water tank on the roof.
There's a good documentary about it on Netflix.
Yeah. Elisa Lam was a real person,
Mm-hmm.
and this kind of speculation is irresponsible. She was not playing the elevator game, and people just need to stop doing this.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't want any comments on this video
That's
about.
not cool.
No. The elevator game has been circulating online for years. It's supposed to basically be a ritual that brings you to another world. Early English translations referred to it as how to get to another world using an elevator or elevator to another world. It seems to have first appeared in 2008 on Japan's 2chan messaging boards. And the oldest version that has been able to be located so far is November 22nd, 2008. The legend spread to Korea and the United States and other places. The elevator game saw a major resurgence in 2021 because of the Netflix documentary about Elisa Lam. The legend also appeared in the anime Other Side Picnic and on the show Evil. I've been watching Evil. It's really interesting. A horror film based on the elevator game was also released in 2023. As Jessica would say, shit you need. One person only. Access to a building with at least 10 floors, and the elevator needs to be able to reach all 10 floors. I'm going to be giving the spark notes of the directions of how to use this ritual because this ritual is very elaborate. There are very elaborate steps, and the way that you follow the steps also depends on how many floors there actually are, if there's a basement, if there's not a basement. So if anyone wants the full rules, check out the elevator game on the Ghost in My Machine. You can start the ritual at any time. You go into a building and head straight for the elevator. You call the elevator using only the up button. If there's a down button, do not touch it. When the elevator arrives, you get in. You have to enter on the first floor. You have to be completely alone. If there's anyone else inside the elevator, you can't do it. Once you're inside the elevator, you need to follow this sequence of going to different floors. You go in this sequence of floors, you do not get out of the elevator. And I'm just going to go. So it goes 2, 6, 2, 10, 5. On the 5th floor, a woman may enter the elevator. Some say that it is a young woman. Some say that it is an elderly woman. Don't look at her. Don't speak to her. According to the legend, she isn't what she appears to be. Stay inside and press the button for the first floor. One of two things will happen next. If the elevator starts going down to the first floor, the ritual has failed. Once the doors open, you should get out immediately. Don't speak, don't look back, leave the building, and don't turn around. You can always try again another time. If the elevator starts going up instead, the ritual has worked and you can continue. However, this is your last chance to back out. If you want to back out, you can press any button except for number 10, and you have to do this before you pass the 9th floor. That's only a few floors to decide because you're going from floor 5.
You have seconds.
If you wait too long, the ritual cannot be stopped. So if you reach the 10th floor and you didn't back out, you can choose whether you get out of the elevator or stay inside of it. If the woman entered earlier, she may ask where you're going. You're not supposed to answer her. Again, you're not supposed to look at her. Just step out of the elevator without saying anything. You can take a look around, but do not lose sight of the elevator you arrived in because you might lose it. According to the legend, you have now entered another world. There might be strange details or unusual surroundings, a little uncanny valley vibes, but the biggest sign that you have arrived in this other world is that there should be no other human life other than you and potentially the woman. I've heard some versions of the story that say you will see a huge red cross out a window if you're like still in the building in this other world. What you actually see in this other world varies, but I have heard a really big red cross many times.
Interesting.
Now, if you want to go home, this depends on whether you stepped out of the elevator on the 10th floor. If you stayed in the elevator, it's pretty easy. You just press the button for the first floor and the elevator should close and begin going down. If it doesn't move, keep pressing the first floor button until it does. Once you arrive at the first floor, get out immediately. Don't look back. Don't speak. Just get the fuck out. GTFO, leave the building and head home. If you did get out on the 10th floor, go back to the elevator you arrived in. Hopefully you kept sight of it. And you have to use the exact same numbers to return.
Doesn't it have to be backwards?
Yeah, it kind of is backwards. I'm going to explain this how I read it, but you should read this yourself if you want the full details because it confused me. So you're supposed to go inside and press the button for the 4th floor, then the 2nd floor, then the 6th floor, then the 2nd floor, then the 5th floor. And then at some point, the elevator is going to start going towards the 10th floor again. But this time you need to cancel it within that first few seconds and press any button except for the 1st or 10th floor. And again, you have to do this before it reaches the 9th floor. If you canceled it correctly from going to the 10th floor, it will automatically just go to the 1st floor. When the doors open, don't get out right away. Look around carefully. Make sure that this looks normal and that you're not still in the other world. Make sure nothing is strange or out of place. Stay in the elevator if anything feels off. Repeat the process if anything feels off. You keep doing this until you're completely sure you're back in your own world. It does also say if anyone other than the woman enters the elevator while you're doing the ritual, you have to stop and start again once you're able to be alone again.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So here's some more information about things that people see in the other world. Again, it's not consistent. Some say it looks almost exactly like our world, and that the biggest differences are that all of the lights are off and that there's a glowing red cross that can be seen in the distance. People say that phones, cameras, and electronics stop working there. Others claim that their electronics work perfectly fine. Nobody really agrees what goes on in the other world or what it looks like. There's also a warning that returning home may not be as easy as it sounds. You might not return home.
Yeah, it doesn't sound easy.
You could get stuck. There's also some stories where people faint, pass out, or lose consciousness during the ritual.
Nice.
And wake up back at home. However, if that happens,
are you still in?
Look around carefully because you might not actually be home. The woman in the elevator, last warning, might be part of the reason why you get stuck there. She might decide she wants to keep you in the other world.
Oh, I couldn't go.
Why?
She'd want to keep me.
I don't know about that. All right. Moving on to the next one, the Shoebox Telephone Game.
The Shoebox Telephone Game.
I love this one.
So the point of this ritual is to essentially contact a deceased loved one or an enemy, I guess.
Fuck you.
Yeah. I guess you probably could.
Probably could. Might not go well, but...
No, might not. But the game was already being played by many people in a juvenile detention center before the person who seems to have shared it online got there to the detention center.
Yeah.
Many of the participants were kids who didn't have one or both parents. The game may have offered some sort of comfort. In some cases, though, it made things worse instead of helping. It is generally considered a low-stakes game compared to something like the Three Kings ritual or
the Man in the Fields
ritual. It's also described as being much less intense and dramatic overall. It's often seen as a good starter game for beginners. To some, it's a dip your toes in the water type of ritual. It's a way to call the shadow side. Shit you need. A phone booth, which can just be like a closet. A handset, which is basically a paper cup. A telephone box, which is a shoebox, literally. A telephone wire made from regular string. Sewing thread works best. You'll need about 2 to 4 feet of this string plus a needle to attach everything. A pair of scissors, something strong to power the box, as in a power object. Something that has a personal connection to whoever you're trying to contact. That part is very important. Ritual setup / outbound call. Wait until the end of the day, right before bedtime. Turn off all distractions like your TV, your phone, your radio, your computer, all the things. Don't turn off the lights, but keep everything else quiet and still. The goal is 0 interruptions and total focus. Then you wait for what's called the right time. You'll just know when it's the right time. When you feel that certainty that it is time, you start writing your letter. If that feeling doesn't show up within an hour, stop and try again another night. If it hasn't happened after 3 to 4 nights, it may mean you're not ready yet. In that case, you're supposed to either try a different person or take a break. I would take a break.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah. The important rule is do not write the letter if you're unsure. Doubt is considered a wrong number. When you do start writing, do not erase or correct anything. You can't cross anything out. No rewriting, no fixing. You only get 1 sheet of paper, and the first draft is the final. Just write honestly about why you want to reach this person. Don't overthink it. Let it come natural. The idea is that waiting for the right time makes it all feel clearer. Once the letter is done, tie one end of the string to the power object. Using a needle, thread the other end of the string through the bottom of the paper cup. Remove the needle and tie a small knot to secure it. You now have a simple paper cup telephone. Don't build this ahead of time. You have to wait until the right time and you have written your letter. Read your letter out loud into the paper cup. Speak as if the person on the other end can actually hear you. Even the mistakes you made, do not correct them. Read it as it is. This is considered your outbound call. When you're done, place both the object and the letter into the shoebox. Put the shoebox on the floor of your closet, aka your phone booth. Close the box, but don't seal it. Just let the lid rest loosely. The string should still come out from under the lid. Leave the paper cup sitting on top of the box. Place the scissors on the floor next to it. And now you wait for your phone to ring. Performing the ritual. The inbound call. According to the ritual, the call is supposed to come through your dreams. It might happen that night. It could happen several nights later. You'll know you've received the call when you dream about the person you wrote the letter to. At some point during the dream, you will wake up and somehow you will just know that it is time to answer the call. Do not turn on any lights. Do not say anything. Get out of bed. Go straight to your phone booth. Check the shoebox. If it's still closed and the paper cup is still standing on top, you are good to proceed. Sit down inside the closet, close the door behind you. The ritual says a dark, enclosed space is important if the call happens after sunrise. If the shoebox is open or the paper cup has fallen over, stop the ritual immediately. Snap the string connecting the cup to the box. Don't put the paper cup anywhere near your ear. If you can't break the string by hand, use scissors. If everything looks normal, sit on the floor, press the paper cup to your ear. Cover your other ear with your hand to help you listen. Be patient. It could take a minute. Don't speak. Don't move around too much. Don't touch the shoebox. Some people claim gently tugging the string improves the connection, but be careful not to accidentally open the box. The shoebox is supposed to stay closed for a few months after the call comes through. No matter what you hear, do not respond. Even if you're asked questions or told to speak, shut up. Don't say anything. The ritual says you already said everything you need to during your outbound call. For the inbound call, your only job is to listen. If you're finished listening or want to end the call at any point, hold the shoebox shut with one hand, pull on the paper cup with the other until the string snaps. If necessary, use scissors. Store the closed shoebox somewhere safe for a few months. Dispose of the paper cup afterwards. Burning it is also acceptable. Just don't ever hold it up to your ear again. If the call never comes, if 3 or 4 nights pass and you never receive a dream, the ritual suggests that the person simply may not have anything to say. That's considered okay. You can try contacting somebody else instead, but it's not recommended to try this ritual too often. Warnings: it is possible to dial a wrong number. When this happens, you may be connected to someone or something that you did not intend to, and this someone or something could pretend to be the right person and harass you, and it wouldn't be a good time.
That is it for this episode, but get ready for next week where we have more
Part 2.
Yeah, more rituals that we explain to you.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I should say, if you have a ritual that you want us to talk about, or if you tried any of these rituals and you have a story of you trying them, or if you have any stories that are creepy, send it to us
at justalittlestitiouspod@gmail.com.
And if you like stories like this, if you like creepy games and rituals, if you like extreme hauntings, if you like Jess and I and our humor and our personalities, follow, subscribe, like, comment, hit a notification bell so you know when we post, which is typically every Friday. Okay?
Okay.
Sweet.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening to Just a Little Stitious. If you like stories like this, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
And before you go to bed tonight, make sure to check under your bed, just in case that sound you heard wasn't the fridge.